My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen carefully. Not because these are simply words on a screen. Not because this is just another video appearing in your feed. But because something far deeper is happening right now. You may not fully understand it yet. You may not be able to explain it. But your spirit recognizes that this moment is different. There is a reason you are here. There is a reason these words found you today. And there is a reason your heart feels drawn to continue listening. Because heaven has something important to remind you of. My child, there have been countless moments in your journey when you felt unseen. Moments when you carried burdens nobody else knew about. Moments when your heart was breaking while your face was smiling. Moments when you felt exhausted but kept moving forward anyway. Moments when you questioned yourself. Questioned your future. Questioned whether your efforts truly mattered. And yet despite all of that, you kept going. You kept believing. You kept praying. You kept trusting. Even when life gave you reasons not to. Even when people disappointed you. Even when circumstances made no sense. Even when answers seemed delayed. Even when doors remained closed. You continued moving forward. And heaven noticed every single step. Nothing was overlooked. Not one prayer. Not one tear. Not one act of faith. Not one moment of courage. Not one sacrifice. Not one silent battle. Everything mattered. Everything counted. Everything became part of a greater story that was unfolding behind the scenes. There were days when you felt like giving up. Days when you wondered if anyone truly understood what you were carrying. Days when the weight felt unbearable. Days when hope seemed fragile. But somehow you continued. And that persistence has brought you to this moment. My beloved child, there is something powerful about endurance. Anyone can believe when life is easy. Anyone can trust when everything is going according to plan. Anyone can smile when circumstances are favorable. But continuing to believe when nothing makes sense. That is faith. Continuing to trust when answers are delayed. That is faith. Continuing to move forward when your heart is tired. That is faith. And that faith has been transforming you in ways you cannot yet fully see. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are not the same person you were during your hardest season. Something inside you has changed. Something inside you has matured. Something inside you has grown stronger. The struggles that once shook you now reveal your strength. The situations that once controlled your emotions now reveal your wisdom. The challenges that once felt overwhelming now reveal your resilience. Because every season carried a lesson. Every challenge carried growth. Every obstacle carried preparation. Nothing was wasted. Not the pain. Not the waiting. Not the disappointments. Not the delays. Not even the moments you thought were meaningless. Everything was shaping you. Everything was preparing you. Everything was building the person you are becoming. My child, for a long time you wondered if your efforts were making any difference. You wondered if your prayers were reaching heaven. You wondered if your faith was accomplishing anything. You wondered if your sacrifices had value. The answer is yes. More than you realize. The seeds you planted during difficult seasons are beginning to produce fruit. The lessons you learned through hardship are becoming wisdom. The strength you developed through struggle is becoming confidence. And the faith you carried through uncertainty is becoming peace. A deep peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on perfect circumstances. Not the kind of peace that disappears when challenges appear. But the kind of peace that remains steady. The kind of peace that exists even when answers have not arrived yet. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you are not walking alone. Because you never were. There were moments when you felt abandoned. But you were never abandoned. Moments when you felt forgotten. But you were never forgotten. Moments when you felt isolated. But you were never alone. Even during your darkest nights. Even during your hardest battles. Even during your deepest disappointments. You were being guided. Protected. Strengthened. Prepared. My child, you are entering a new season. A season that feels different. A season that carries clarity. A season that carries healing. A season that carries restoration. A season that carries peace. This does not mean life will suddenly become perfect. It does not mean challenges will disappear forever. But it does mean you will face them differently. Because you are different. You have grown. You have matured. You have learned how to trust beyond circumstances. You have learned how to remain steady during uncertainty. You have learned how to find strength when everything around you feels weak. And those lessons are becoming gifts. You are beginning to see life through new eyes. You are beginning to understand that delays are not always denial. Closed doors are not always rejection. Waiting seasons are not always punishment. Sometimes delays are protection. Sometimes closed doors are redirection. Sometimes waiting is preparation. And often the things that frustrated you the most become the very things you later thank God for. My beloved child, there is also a deeper transformation happening within you. You are learning to release what no longer belongs in your life. Old fears. Old regrets. Old bitterness. Old wounds. Old insecurities. Old limitations. Things that once felt impossible to let go of are beginning to lose their power. Not because you forced them away, but because you have outgrown them. You are becoming stronger than the things that once controlled you. Wiser than the fears that once limited you. Calmer than the situations that once overwhelmed you. And this growth is creating space. Space for new opportunities. Space for new blessings. Space for healthier relationships. Space for greater peace. Space for a future that aligns with who you are becoming. There will be moments ahead that surprise you. Unexpected opportunities. Unexpected breakthroughs. Unexpected favor. Unexpected joy. Not because they came out of nowhere, but because they were being prepared while you were growing. While you were healing. While you were learning. While you were becoming ready. My child, the road ahead is filled with possibilities. Do not allow fear to convince you otherwise. Do not allow past disappointments to define future expectations. Do not allow old failures to determine new outcomes. Your story is still being written. Your best chapters are not behind you. There is still purpose ahead. Still growth ahead. Still healing ahead. Still love ahead. Still peace ahead. Still blessings ahead. And there is still so much more for you to experience. Continue trusting. Continue believing. Continue moving forward. One step at a time. One day at a time. One prayer at a time. Because every step is bringing you closer to the life you were created to live. And as you continue walking forward, remember this. You are loved. You are chosen. You are valued. You are seen. You are guided. You are protected. And you are far closer to your breakthrough than you realize. If this message spoke directly to your heart today, don't leave without taking action. Type, Amen, I receive God's peace, God's timing, and God's purpose for my life in the comments right now. Share this message with someone who needs encouragement, hope, healing, and strength today. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next message God may use to transform your life. And remember, your waiting was not wasted. Your prayers were not ignored. Your breakthrough is closer than you think.